Hi, I'm Terrell Turner, the host of the Business Talk Library, and today I have two great guests on. And one of the things that everyone knows that listens and watches the show is that I'm located in Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's always a pleasure when you have other North Carolina-based business owners on the show. And as you can see from our guests, the amazing artwork that they have there, we're going to be diving into an area that, sometimes a lot of people don't think about the business side of an artist, but that is a very real side of them. And I wanted to bring on Bobby and Raquel on to talk about their business and their journey. So welcome to the show, Bobby and Raquel.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, before we jump into your business and talking about the amazing artwork that you have, can you tell us a little bit about, your backgrounds and, how did you guys even get into art?
Do you want to go first?
I personally been creating art my whole entire life. I decided when I was about maybe 11 years old that I wanted to be an artist. I went to several art schools in New York, Jamaica Art Center to art and design. And I met Raquel at SUNY Purchase University for visual arts. And we kind of picked up from there. We have very similar goals, and we talked about our financial goals in terms of art and what we wanted to do. And we have very similar tastes. And that's basically how that started.
Okay, awesome. Now, you said, you started around, about 11. Was there anything that really inspired you prior to 11 that really like, hey, art is my thing?
The Simpsons, Spider-Man. I love cartoons. There were a lot of other kids that can draw, and I really just wanted to be one of them. I wanted to just create things on the page. I would spend like hours in my basement room drawing, and then I would bring it to school and the kids would laugh at it and my feelings would get hurt, but then I just go back the next day and try again. And then that lasted for a few months until I became one of the best artists of that school and took home the art award once we graduated. So it was just something I was extremely passionate about, from the drawings to the coloring, even how artists create their signature. I think I spent like maybe 3 days practicing exactly how I was going to do my signature. I studied other people's signature. It was just something I had to do. I didn't want to do anything else.
Awesome. Now, Raquel, for you, how did art start for you?
I've pretty much had a pencil in my hand since I was like 4 years old. I would always be drawing some little thing in a corner somewhere, just like focused on whatever it was I was creating. And then I pretty much just kept with it all through school. In high school, I joined the art group there, and I had a formal art class. And that actually helped me to put a portfolio together. And then when I met Bobby at SUNY Purchase, I was enrolled in like the liberal arts program. And we were talking, he was like, no, you need to be in visual arts. So I took all of the art that I had done through high school and over the years and presented it. And I was able to get accepted into the School of Visual Arts at SUNY Purchase, which was really exciting. And from there, we've just been creating artwork, and we got really passionate about making portraits and doing like extraterrestrial art is what Bobby does. And then I started to segue into like fluid abstract art with acrylic pouring, and just kind of spreading out from there into different interests.
Gotcha. Now I'm curious because I'm not an artist. I'm more of I guess you'd say, since my background is accounting and finance, more logical, pattern driven. So I'm always curious, with an artist, how is it that you get to the point where you start to find like, hey, this is my niche or this is the angle? How do you really get to that point?
I believe it's just over time, like what you find yourself drawn to. And then the more you practice it, you continue to enjoy it and become passionate about it, as well as become better at doing it. So it's just a matter of just focusing in on kind of like what makes you what resonates with you, what allows you to like really express yourself in the way that you want to, and then just really kind of stick with it and go with it from there.
It's also about like you have to have a strong passion, and you have to be bullheaded about it. You know, you can't with anything that you want to do. You got to be extremely focused. You got to accept failure over and over again, and it has to be about the work more than what you're going to get out of it, because eventually everything's going to come. But the most important thing in the beginning is to focus on, what you want to do, what you want to send out there. And then eventually we started finding our audience, and people just started, resonating with us.
And I think that's an amazing point, because that's something that a lot of the business owners and entrepreneurs that I've talked to, I mean, that's one of the things they struggle with, is going through that process to finding their audience, or like you said, dealing with that failure. And, when you think about that, I mean, just dealing with that, working through that failure, I mean, that's not something that a lot of people are just built to do, or some people, that's where they kind of give up in that phase. So what kind of helped you guys navigate working through the failure and working through the constructive criticism?
I think it was just a matter of like when you really find something that you enjoy and that you're passionate about, and you just have to kind of keep believing in it until you see the fruits of your labor type of thing. It's like you're not going to see anything for a while. You just have to like walk by faith and know that what you're doing is valuable, and just kind of hold on to that and then just keep going, really.
Awesome. So I want to ask you about, the artwork that you guys do, and with the pieces that are behind you. One of the things that from my, I guess you say, novice perspective of looking at art, one of the things that I enjoy is the chance to talk with an artist, to hear, the story behind the painting, because there's always, a message in there. And I'm always curious, like, how do you guys find the inspiration for the style of painting and the types of paintings that you do?
Well, a few years ago, we came up with this idea of portrait soul art. It's basically using an abstract way of describing a particular person or thing, but usually a person. And we kind of try to add elements to it. Like this one up here is Trayvon Martin. You can't see it that well, but at the top you can see it's a phoenix. So it represents, the rise of Black Lives Matter. And hers is also one of a girl that was let down in social service business. Yeah. And we like to paint things that are happening, but also I like to paint things that people are curious about, like the extraterrestrial art. Have a little fun as well with that. And our inspiration is basically love of everything. We want people to realize that you can be who you are, or explore what you want to explore.
Yeah, I would say that overall, in terms of both of us, I feel like our art is focused on like raising awareness and just raising consciousness as a whole. Like, for instance, with his extraterrestrial art, it's something that people may find like, oh, what's that? And it might, like you said, they might be curious and be interested. And it's like, okay, they see the image and it becomes something they kind of begin to maybe accept as possible, or just be interested in learning more about. And then with the soul portraits, it's like someone sees themselves as multidimensional when they have this portrait created of them with different aspects of their abilities or talents, or just elements of, what makes them who they are. And it's in a portrait form. It inspires them every morning. They feel purposeful. They feel like, they can see their vision, their goals on canvas. So that's really real for them. And then with the social justice painting, the artwork is with Trayvon Martin. I feel like the Phoenix is really powerful, because it represents his transformation, because even as a soul, he's not on earth anymore, but he still had that transformation, and his life was for a bigger purpose. And he transformed the consciousness of people that just accepted, racial brutality as okay. And now people are beginning to say, wait, no, that's not okay. And so that painting is really transformative in and of itself, because it's like bringing that awareness to other people. And so, yeah, I would say in general, our art is definitely about just, opening the viewpoints and awarenesses of people and Earth as a whole.
Awesome. So now where can people find, more of your art to see a lot of the other stuff that you guys have done or the other types of work that you've done?
Sure. So I have
Divinely Art Instagram.
Yeah.
She has we have 3 Instagrams, one with particularly mine, one particularly with hers, and a joint one. So the one with hers is called Divinely Art on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And when people want something, they just email, or because everything is created like once you order it. Everything is commissioned per person. And the same thing with mine. Mine is art by Bobby Wilkins III, and you can find that on Instagram. And Portrait Soul Readings is also the other one on Instagram. So
we also have I have 2 websites. One is under construction, which is divinelyart.com. So that's definitely already reserved and it's being worked on right now. And then portraitsoulreadings.com is our the one for our portraits. So people can also visit there and order custom portraits there as well.
Awesome. So now I want to talk about, what is that journey been like with, building a business around your art? Because I think it's one thing, like I said, to develop your craft and to get good at what you do and to find the passion. But what is that side like when it's time to, build a business around what you're passionate about?
When it comes to doing art, that's really difficult, because as an artist, the first thing you have to do is calculate the costs and what you believe your art is worth. And in the beginning, sometimes you have to reduce how much you think your art should be until you get an audience. And it's very difficult for you. It's like messes with your ego and whatnot. But the more you go out and you get clients and you make something that they love, they tell other people. So most of the time, when it comes to being an artist, it's usually word of mouth. You could get famous on Instagram, which is fine, but the majority of people that get famous on Instagram usually have clients, and their clients are usually, just like most artists around here, word of mouth. They got something, they put it in their home, they loved it. Someone went into their home, they saw it, and they want one too, and they'll contact us and they say they'll write us a paragraph of what they're looking for. We'll give them a sketch in return and say, hey, this is what we can do, and then how much time it will take and the cost, and then we go from there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if I had to give advice to other artists, I'd say that, there's the creative side of art and then there's the business side. And in terms of the business side, it's helpful to look at it as any other business, in terms that people buy from you if they know, like, and trust you. So any way you have of just connecting with someone on a basic level, and there's so many tools to do that now. Like Instagram is just one platform. There's still email lists where you keep in touch with your contacts through email and just continually update them on, hey, this is what's going on in my studio. This is what I'm working on, and even bring them into your personal life a little bit and just give them a rounder picture of who you are as an artist and as a person. And then just continue to kind of build that relationship in that way. And there's many different formats. There's trade shows and festivals where you can meet people and stay in touch with them through email. So yeah, I'll definitely just suggest looking at it in that way. And the sales kind of come through that.
And the email, like she was saying, is extremely important, because one thing most artists knows is that they don't really buy your art, they buy you.
Mhm.
So they have to get to know us. They got to like us. And then, our art is secondary to the whole business side of art.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, have there been any, I guess, with COVID has been very reduced, but have there been any in-person events where people have been able to see your art recently, or any events that you've been at?
Yeah, actually, we did take part in the city of Asheville. They sponsored a group of business owners, and I actually got a chance to submit suggestions for the names, and they took one of my suggestions. So it was called One Love Creators of Asheville.
Right.
And so that was really exciting. We did trade shows and festivals throughout the winter months. And so we were able to set up a tent and a table and just spread our artwork out and have people come by and look at it and meet new faces and just exchange information. It was really great.
Yeah, we were very fortunate with that because we actually had gotten our very first gallery 2 weeks before COVID.
Oh, wow.
So when things started to turn around in our favor, we were very happy.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, definitely that came in good timing for you guys to be able to show off your work. So the last question I wanted to ask, when people see your artwork, like when you're working with a client and when they've given you, hey, this is what I want, they've seen the sketch, when they see your artwork, what are some of the responses you usually see, whether it's on their face or just the things that they say once they see the final piece?
They're always extremely happy about it. I can tell they feel like they got undercharged, especially with stuff that I've given in the past, because I have a tendency to get carried away with my art. If you give me enough time, I might just keep going or doing something with it, and then they kind of just look at me like, "We're fine." So, I told you what I was going to do. If I went a little bit above and you still like it, it's still yours, But yeah, we tend to try our best to go beyond, the bar that we put for each and every person out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for coming on the show, for sharing your story, and for taking us through the journey of what it's been like in developing as an artist, as well as developing a business around your art. Definitely wish you continued success, and we'll definitely share the links for your Instagram pages and the names of the website so people can find you guys online and check out the awesome work that you have and to continue doing business with you. So thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having us. It was a really great time. Thanks so much, Terrell.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Business Talk Library. If you like our content, be sure to follow us on social media. And if you want to see more of our exclusive content, you can subscribe and become a member on patreon.com/Business Talk Library. Hey, the Business Talk Library is the place where business makes sense.